Captain Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the Earth flagship Resolute, his eyes scanning the holographic display that showed the distant edges of human space. The stars were calm tonight, but the calm hid a tension that pulsed like electricity through the fleet. Humans had fortified their space silently, leaving the galaxy unaware of the true strength that lay behind Earth's defenses. Lieutenant Mi-sun, sitting at the tactical console, tapped rapidly on the controls, bringing up information about a small alien scout vessel that had been detected approaching human space. The sensors indicated that the ship belonged to a species that had always viewed humans as weak and insignificant. Now, their arrogance would be their downfall. "Captain, the scout is within firing range," Mi-sun said, her voice steady but tinged with excitement. "They don't know what's coming." Jinwoo nodded. He had anticipated this moment for months. The humans of Earth had prepared for this quietly. Their warships were faster, stronger, and more heavily armed than anything the galaxy expected. The aliens had no idea that entering human space was a risk that could cost them everything. "Open a communication channel," Jinwoo ordered. The view screen shimmered to life, showing the alien ship's hull, sleek and confident, as if daring humanity to challenge them. A distorted voice came through, haughty and arrogant. "Humans, you have no power here. Move aside or face consequences." Jinwoo's lips curved into a calm smile. "You have already made your choice. You should have left while you could." Without another word, Mi-sun activated the energy cannons. A flash of light streaked across the void, striking the alien scout. The ship shuddered violently before breaking apart in a silent explosion. Pieces of debris floated in the darkness, a warning written in fire that humans were not to be underestimated. The fleet around Earth responded with quiet efficiency, moving into defensive positions to ensure no other intruders could enter undetected. Other species across the galaxy would hear of this soon, but for now, Earth's fleet maintained a disciplined silence. Humans did not need to shout to be feared. Their actions spoke louder than words. In the command room, Jinwoo and Mi-sun reviewed the tactical logs. The alien ship had been fast, but it was predictable. Humans had adapted to anticipate such arrogance. Every maneuver of the enemy had been accounted for, every potential weakness exploited. The galaxy had always assumed humans were inferior in technology and strategy, and that mistake would cost them dearly. "Captain, do you think they will send more ships?" Mi-sun asked, her eyes reflecting the lights of the control panels. "They will test us as all arrogant beings do," Jinwoo replied. "But they will learn the cost of underestimating humans. Every attack against us will be remembered, and every loss will be their lesson." Beyond the fleet, on a distant human colony, citizens went about their evening routines, unaware of the battle that had just occurred in the dark reaches of space. Children looked up at the stars, dreaming of exploration and adventure. They did not know that their future was being safeguarded by warships silently patrolling the edges of human space. Captain Jinwoo walked along the corridors of the Resolute, nodding to crew members who moved with precise discipline. Every individual had been trained to respond with efficiency and intelligence. Humans had always relied on ingenuity and determination, and these qualities were evident in every corner of the ship. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Mi-sun monitored alien communications, picking up fragmented messages as the scouts reported back to their leaders. Panic and disbelief were woven through their signals. They had assumed human defenses would be easy to overcome, but the reality was overwhelming. Their arrogance had blinded them to the possibility that humans were prepared for war, not just defense. "Captain," Mi-sun said, pointing at the display, "other species will hear of this. The council will convene to discuss what just happened." Jinwoo nodded. "Let them talk. Let them understand the cost of arrogance. They cannot see what we see. They cannot predict our actions. We are humans, and this is our space." The stars outside the bridge seemed endless, but every light represented a world that humans had touched, explored, or defended. The galaxy was vast, but humans had learned to survive and thrive where others feared to tread. The Resolute and its fleet were more than ships. They were symbols of a species that refused to be underestimated. As the night deepened, Jinwoo and Mi-sun continued their watch, scanning for any signs of intrusion. The galaxy might think humans were weak, but that illusion had been shattered. One scout ship was enough to send a warning, a spark that would ignite fear and caution across the stars. On the alien side, council members argued fiercely. How could a single human fleet wield such power? How could they destroy a scout without warning, without hesitation? Pride and arrogance had led them into this trap, and the losses were only the beginning. Humanity was not just defending space. They were teaching the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Back on the Resolute, the crew maintained their routine, every action precise and deliberate. Humans did not need to boast of their strength. They let their victories speak for them. And in this calm after the first strike, there was no doubt that Earth's warships would continue to defend their space with unmatched resolve. Jinwoo turned to Mi-sun, a quiet determination in his eyes. Prepare the fleet for ongoing patrols. We cannot allow anyone to test our limits again. Mi-sun nodded. Understood, Captain. We will be ready. As the fleet moved through the stars, silent and vigilant, the galaxy began to take notice. No species dared to enter human space without consequences, and the cost of arrogance had just been revealed. Humans were no longer the underdogs. They were the guardians of their domain, capable of striking with precision and power beyond expectation. The night continued, but on Earth and in its colonies, life carried on. Humans would continue to grow, explore, and defend their space. The stars held many mysteries, but one truth was now clear to all who dared approach. Human space was protected, and those who underestimated humans would learn the hard way. Captain Jinwoo and his crew watched over the frontier, vigilant and unyielding, the first defenders of a galaxy that had learned a vital lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated, and arrogance came at a high price. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with tension. Alien leaders from many species argued loudly, their voices overlapping in confusion and fear. They could not believe the report that a single human fleet had destroyed one of their scout ships without warning. Pride and arrogance had led them to underestimate humans, and now the cost was clear. Ambassador Sumin, a representative from the Avrian species, slammed his clawed hand on the table. We cannot allow humans to grow so strong. We need to strike before they expand further into the galaxy. Another council member, Kyra, shook her head. Rushing into war with humans is foolish. We have already seen their capabilities. One fleet has destroyed a ship without any losses. How can we predict what they will do next? In the silence of space, far away on Earth's flagship Resolute, Captain Jae-hyun and Lieutenant Hanul monitored the council signals. The humans could intercept communications and read the panic in the alien fleets. It was an advantage that humans had mastered over decades. Knowing your enemy before they even knew you existed. Captain, Hanul said, tapping the console. They are debating how to respond to us. Some want war, others want diplomacy. Either way, we control the situation. Jae-hyun leaned forward, his fingers steepled. We do not need to act hastily. Let them reveal their arrogance and weakness. We will only respond if they make a move. Earth had been preparing quietly for decades. Humans expanded into space with speed and efficiency that no other species anticipated. While other civilizations focused on politics and council disagreements, humans were building ships, training crews, and creating strategies that could respond to any threat in the galaxy. On one of the remote human colonies, Commander Minsuk oversaw the training of young pilots. They moved with precision and discipline, ready to join Earth's fleet at a moment's notice. These young humans were the next generation of defenders, taught to value courage, intelligence, and teamwork. Their presence sent a clear message. Humans would never be caught off guard. Back on the Resolute, sensors detected alien fleets moving closer to the outer edge of human space. Not all ships were scouts. Some were larger warships, testing boundaries, unsure of how far they could advance without provoking a human response. They are probing our defenses, Hanul said. It will only be a matter of time before they decide to attack. Jae-hyun nodded. Then we will be ready. Prepare the fleet for patrol and defensive maneuvers. Every ship must know its role. We do not underestimate anyone. The humans moved with quiet determination. Their fleets patrolled the edges of space, scanning for intruders. Alien scouts that approached human territory were intercepted and studied. Some were allowed to retreat after a warning strike, others were destroyed when they showed aggression. The galaxy began to whisper about human strength and unpredictability. In the council chamber, voices rose in panic. "We cannot risk sending another fleet," one leader shouted. "They are faster, stronger, and smarter than we imagined. Our ships will be destroyed if we challenge them again." Sumin, the ambassador, refused to back down. "We must show them they cannot expand without consequence. We cannot allow humans to dominate the outer systems." Kyra, the more cautious council member, responded, "Every time you act aggressively, humans only gain more power. They are prepared for war. We saw it with one ship. How will we survive if we attack their colonies directly?" Meanwhile, in space near a minor star system, Lieutenant Unji piloted a reconnaissance ship, observing alien movements. She noted patterns and relay signals, transmitting the information back to the main fleet. Humans were always one step ahead, studying enemy behavior and predicting actions. The arrogance of the other species blinded them to this preparation. Back on the Resolute, Jaehyun met with his senior officers. They reviewed the latest intelligence and planned a series of maneuvers designed to test the aliens without revealing the full strength of the fleet. Every move was deliberate. Every decision accounted for human ingenuity and the likelihood of alien mistakes. "Captain," Hanul said, "some species are starting to reconsider their stance. They are realizing the cost of their arrogance." Jaehyun allowed a small smile. "Good. Let them learn before they attack. Humans are not here to provoke, but we will defend what is ours. Any misstep by them will be met with precision and force." In a distant star system, alien fleets waited nervously, unsure if diplomacy or war was the correct response. The whispers of human victories traveled faster than their fleets, reaching ears across the galaxy. Panic grew in their ranks, and the arrogance that had once filled their council meetings now felt like fear. On Earth, civilians remained unaware of the tension in space. Children played in parks under the light of distant stars, while scientists and engineers quietly prepared new technology for the fleet. The defense of human space was invisible to the world, but it was strong, and humans would not allow their territory to be challenged. Hanul updated Jaehyun on the alien fleets. "They are hesitant. Some suggest sending small groups, testing our defenses. Others want to retreat entirely. Let them test us," Jaehyun said. "Every move they make will be calculated. We will respond with strategy, not emotion. Humans are always prepared for the unexpected." The tension across the galaxy continued to rise. The council argued and debated, but humans stayed focused. They knew their advantage was preparation, speed, and strategy. The arrogance of other species was their weakness. By underestimating humans, they revealed their vulnerabilities. In the silence of space, the Resolute moved steadily, leading the fleet in patrols and observation. Every ship in formation reflected the discipline and strength of humanity. The humans did not boast, they did not threaten unnecessarily, but their actions spoke volumes. Jaehyun looked out at the stars, feeling the responsibility of command. Every decision he made protected billions of lives across human colonies. Every strategic maneuver safeguarded humanity's future. And every alien who dared challenge them would learn the cost of arrogance. As the fleet continued to patrol the outer edges, Lieutenant Unji reported new signals of alien scouts retreating. Humans had sent a clear message. Intrusion would not be tolerated. The galaxy began to realize that human space was guarded, and the cost of arrogance would only increase with every miscalculation. Jaehyun turned to Hanul. "Prepare for ongoing surveillance. Humans will remain vigilant. Our strength is our vigilance, and no species should doubt our resolve." Hanul nodded, tapping the controls to extend the sensor network. Humans were patient and deliberate. They allowed others to reveal their intentions, and when the time came, they acted decisively. Across the galaxy, council members reluctantly agreed that further aggression would be too costly. Humans had made their presence known with efficiency and precision. Arrogance was punished swiftly, and now fear of human capabilities began to spread. The night continued in human space. Stars shimmered, fleets moved silently, and humans prepared for the challenges ahead. The lesson was clear. Arrogance had a price, and humans were willing and able to enforce it. Captain Jae-hyun and his officers watched over the frontier, knowing that the galaxy had taken its first true warning from humanity. The human fleet moved silently through the void, scanning the stars for any sign of alien activity. Captain Suk-jin stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, his hands clasped behind his back as he studied the tactical displays. Every ship was in formation, ready to respond to any threat. The galaxy had begun to realize that humans were not to be underestimated. Lieutenant Jia manned the weapons console, monitoring the nearby systems for any movement. She noticed a squadron of alien warships emerging from a nearby nebula, their sensors active and weapons charged. The aliens were testing human defenses, unsure of what to expect. "Captain," Jia said, her voice calm but alert, "they are moving into the system. They do not know we are aware of them yet." Suk-jin nodded. "Prepare the fleet. We will let them learn the cost of intrusion. Execute standard ambush protocol." The human ships shifted silently, taking positions behind asteroids and debris, hidden from the sensors of the approaching alien fleet. The aliens moved with confidence, believing that humans would not react aggressively to a scouting party. Their arrogance was their weakness. Lieutenant Minji guided a smaller reconnaissance ship around the edges of the system, gathering intelligence on the alien formation. Every movement, every signal was carefully noted and transmitted back to the Resolute. Humans had mastered the art of prediction, and now they would use it to control the battlefield. "Captain, they are splitting their forces," Jia reported. "They plan to surround us, but their coordination is poor." Suk-jin smiled slightly. "Then we will turn their plan against them. Prepare the energy cannons. Target the lead ships. Fire on my mark." The fleet waited, silent and patient. As the alien ships entered the trap, human cannons erupted in brilliant streams of energy, striking the lead vessels with precision. The aliens had not anticipated such coordinated firepower. Explosions rippled across space as the first ships were disabled, and the rest of the fleet faltered in confusion. Lieutenant Eunji piloted a strike craft, weaving through the chaos and disabling communication arrays on the alien warships. The alien fleet began to lose cohesion, their strategy falling apart. Humans moved with precision, exploiting every weakness. "Captain, their fleet is scattering," Jia said, excitement creeping into her voice. "They cannot maintain formation." Suk-jin nodded. "Continue the attack, but do not destroy more than necessary. Let them retreat with their pride shattered. The message must be clear." The human fleet pressed forward, disabling key ships while allowing the rest to escape. The aliens would carry the knowledge of their defeat back to their species, a lesson in arrogance and the strength of humanity. Every move the humans made was deliberate, controlled, and precise. Meanwhile, on the bridge of a smaller human ship, Lieutenant Hae-won monitored the system's satellites. She detected fragments of alien ships drifting into nearby space. "Captain, they are leaving signals for reinforcements. Others may be on their way." Suk-jin considered the report. "We have given them a clear warning. Our patrols will ensure no fleet can approach unnoticed. Prepare to move to the next sector. The galaxy must understand that human space is defended." As the humans moved to secure the system, word of the ambush spread across alien networks. Panic rippled through the council fleets. No species had ever encountered such coordination and speed from humans. Their arrogance had been met with swift punishment, and the cost had been high. On the planet Aria, home to one of the more cautious alien species, council members gathered to discuss the human threat. "We cannot underestimate them any longer," one argued. "One fleet has disabled our ships before we could react. Their strategy is beyond our understanding." Another council member replied, "We must find a way to negotiate or retreat. Humans are unpredictable. They punish arrogance swiftly, and they prepare for every contingency." Back in human space, the fleet continued its patrol, ensuring that no alien vessels could penetrate the system again. Humans moved silently, efficiently, and with a sense of calm authority. Their presence alone was enough to force other species to reconsider their approach. Lieutenant Jia reported that the alien survivors were retreating at maximum speed. "Captain, they will carry this experience back to their home systems. The galaxy will remember this lesson." Sukjin allowed a small smile. "Good. Let them learn. Humans defend what is theirs, and we will not allow arrogance to threaten our space." In a remote human colony, Commander Suyun oversaw new warships being constructed and trained crews preparing for future patrols. The news of the fleet's success had not yet reached the general public, but within the military, morale was high. Humans knew they could defend their territory and that their ingenuity and preparation were unmatched. The night in space continued, calm on the surface but charged with the potential of conflict. Humans remained vigilant, ready to respond to any challenge. The galaxy was beginning to understand a fundamental truth. Human space was defended, and any who approached would face the consequences of underestimating humans. Sukjin walked through the corridors of the Resolute, nodding to crew members who moved with discipline and purpose. Every individual understood their role, and every decision was made with the safety and strategy of humanity in mind. The humans of Earth had built more than ships. They had built a force that commanded respect. Lieutenant Unji updated the captain on signals from distant sectors. "Captain, we are picking up alien transmissions. They are debating how to proceed. Some suggest retreat, others plan new attacks." Sukjin's eyes narrowed. "Let them debate. Every action they take will reveal their weaknesses. We will respond with strategy, not emotion. Humans are prepared for any eventuality." The Resolute led the fleet to the next sector, scanning and patrolling, a symbol of human strength and vigilance. Alien species would think twice before testing human space again. The cost of arrogance had been demonstrated clearly, and humans would continue to enforce their boundaries with precision and discipline. Lieutenant Jia summarized the situation. "Captain, the galaxy is starting to fear human capabilities. No species dares to enter our space without knowing the risk." Sukjin looked out at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility and the satisfaction of success. "Let them remember this lesson. Human space is ours, and we will defend it with strength, intelligence, and unity. The cost of arrogance has been shown, and the galaxy will not forget." News of the human fleet's victories spread quickly across the galaxy. Alien species that had once underestimated humans now whispered in fear and confusion. No one could believe the precision, speed, and strength of Earth's warships. The lesson had been learned, and arrogance had a price. In the Galactic Council chamber, leaders from many species argued and debated. Some were angry, unable to accept that a single human fleet could defeat their scouts and warships. Others were cautious, realizing that any future attack could end in disaster. Ambassador Jiho of the Solari species spoke first. "We cannot ignore what has happened. Humans are more prepared than we imagined. Our fleets are weaker than we thought." Another council member, Lyra, shook her head. "We must negotiate or avoid conflict. Humans punish arrogance swiftly. If we attack again, we risk annihilation." Meanwhile, in human space, Captain Hyunwoo and Lieutenant Sua watched the stars from the bridge of the flagship Resolute. They monitored alien communication channels and saw the fear that now spread among the council fleets. Humans had made their power clear without even leaving their territory. The galaxy was beginning to understand that human space was protected and that the cost of arrogance was high. "Captain," Sua said, "they are debating whether to send fleets. Some factions want war, others suggest retreat. Humans control the situation without firing another shot." Hyunwoo nodded. "That is exactly how it should be. Humans do not need to strike again immediately. Let them realize their mistake. Arrogance will always be punished, but preparation and patience are our strengths." In a distant star system, Lieutenant Jiun piloted a reconnaissance ship, scanning for alien movements. She detected small groups of ships trying to gather intelligence, but humans had already anticipated their patterns. Every move of the enemy was tracked, recorded, and analyzed. The human fleet had created a network of surveillance that covered multiple sectors, and no alien ship could approach without being detected. Back on Earth, Commander Minkyu oversaw the training of new pilots and the construction of additional warships. The news of the fleet's success was celebrated quietly within the military. Humans were efficient, prepared, and disciplined. The galaxy might have been unaware of the full extent of human power before, but that would never happen again. In the council chamber, debate continued. "We cannot challenge humans directly," Jiho said. "Every fleet we send is vulnerable. Their ships are faster, stronger, and more coordinated than anything we have seen. The cost of arrogance has already been shown." Lyra added, "We must send envoys. Diplomacy is safer than war. Humans will not attack without reason, but any aggression against them will be met with overwhelming force." Captain Hyun-woo turned to Sua. "Prepare to send a monitored signal to the council. Let them know we are aware of their discussions. Humans are vigilant, but we offer peace if approached with respect. They must understand the consequences of arrogance." Sua nodded, typing rapidly to encrypt the message and send it through secure channels. The aliens received the communication, sensing the calm authority behind it. Humans were not just defenders. They were strategic, patient, and intelligent. The galaxy was learning that underestimating humans carried a cost too high to risk. In another corner of the galaxy, alien fleets began to withdraw, fearful of further losses. The stories of human victories traveled faster than the fleets themselves. Species that had once scoffed at human technology now hesitated to explore, fearing the consequences of even minor incursions. Lieutenant Jiun continued her patrols, observing the retreating fleets. "Captain," she reported, "they are leaving the sector. They are hesitant to approach human space again." Hyun-woo allowed a small smile. "Let them retreat. They will learn from their fear, and it will spread through their species. Humans defend what is ours. We are prepared, patient, and vigilant. The galaxy now knows the cost of arrogance." On Earth, civilians continued their daily lives, unaware of the complex battles occurring in the darkness of space. Children studied the stars, dreaming of exploration, while humans in the fleet quietly safeguarded their future. The lesson was clear. Humans were strong, capable, and not to be underestimated. The Resolute and its fleet maintained a silent watch over the outer edges of human space. Patrols ensured no alien vessel could cross the boundary undetected. Humans allowed the galaxy to realize the true extent of their power without unnecessary conflict. Every action was deliberate, every decision calculated, and every movement a statement of strength. In the council chamber, Jiho sighed. "We must accept that humans have claimed their space. Their defenses are beyond our expectations. Further aggression is too costly." Lyra added, "We must adjust our plans. Humans have taught us a valuable lesson. Arrogance has consequences. They have reshaped the galaxy's perception of power." Back on the Resolute, Hyun-woo looked at the stars, reflecting on humanity's position in the galaxy. Humans were no longer seen as weak or insignificant. They were respected, feared, and understood to be a force that could not be ignored. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson, and humans had done so without unnecessary destruction. Efficiency, strategy, and preparedness had proven more powerful than raw aggression. Sua summarized the situation. "Captain, the galaxy is starting to act cautiously. Alien fleets are withdrawing, and the council debates have shifted. Humans are now recognized as a dominant presence." Hyun-woo nodded. "Good. Let them understand fully. Humans defend their space with strength, intelligence, and patience. Arrogance is punished, but respect is acknowledged. The galaxy now knows that human space is not to be tested." The fleet continued its patrols, monitoring for any new signs of intrusion. Every ship remained in position, every crew member alert. Humans had established a reputation for vigilance, discipline, and strategy. Alien species now approached human space with caution, understanding the lessons taught by the fleet's actions. Across distant systems, stories of human victories circulated. Council members, fleet commanders, and even civilian populations began to respect the strength of Earth's defenses. Humans had changed the perception of their species in the galaxy, proving that intelligence, preparation, and courage could challenge arrogance and reshape expectations. Lieutenant Jiun reported one final observation. Captain, all fleets near our space have retreated. The outer sectors are quiet. The message has been received. Hyunwoo looked around the bridge at his crew, their faces calm but determined. Humans have set the standard. Our space is protected, our fleets are prepared, and the galaxy understands the cost of arrogance. Let them remember this. Humans will continue to defend what is theirs, and we will do so with strength, intelligence, and unity. As the fleet moved silently through the stars, the galaxy adjusted to a new reality. Human space was safe, the cost of arrogance had been shown, and the people of Earth could continue to grow, explore, and thrive under the protection of their vigilant fleet. The lesson was clear. Humans were not to be underestimated, and any who challenged them would pay the price. The galaxy was quiet now, but humans remained vigilant. Captain Daesung stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching the stars with steady eyes. The battles had been won, the alien fleets had retreated, and the Council had learned the cost of underestimating humanity. Yet, humans knew that peace was never permanent in the galaxy. Lieutenant Minna monitored distant sectors, tracking the remnants of alien fleets. She observed their retreat and communicated the data back to the command center. Humans had gained more than victory. They had established dominance and respect across the stars. Captain, Minna said, our patrols are clear. No fleet dares to enter human space now. They are cautious. Daesung nodded. That is good. But we remain alert. Humans cannot afford to relax. Arrogance may have been punished, but new threats will always appear. In the council chambers, alien leaders debated their losses and reconsidered their approach. Ambassador Jiho spoke. We underestimated humans. They have shown precision, strategy, and power beyond our expectation. We cannot challenge them without risking complete destruction. Lyra, another council member, added, we must respect human space and seek diplomacy when possible. They have taught the galaxy that arrogance comes at a high price. On Earth, Commander Heijin oversaw training exercises for new warships. Young pilots moved with precision, learning the tactics that had made humans victorious. Each training session reinforced discipline, intelligence, and teamwork. These young humans were the next generation of defenders, ready to protect humanity across the stars. Captain Daesung walked through the corridors of the Resolute, greeting crew members. Every individual understood the importance of their duty. Every crew member knew that human space was not just a territory but a responsibility that required vigilance, courage, and strategy. Lieutenant Jiun reported from the tactical console. Captain, transmissions from alien systems indicate fear and caution. They are spreading word of our capabilities. Our reputation is now established across multiple sectors. Daesung allowed a small smile. Good. Humans do not need to boast. Let our actions speak. The galaxy will remember that human space is defended, and arrogance is punished. In the distant colonies, humans continued their daily lives, unaware of the lessons being taught in the darkness of space. Children looked up at the stars, dreaming of exploration. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to advance technology, ensuring humanity's advantage remained strong. Every action, every decision, every patrol strengthened the future of human space. The fleet maintained constant patrols, ensuring that no alien vessel could approach undetected. Every movement was calculated, every ship in position. Humans had learned the value of preparation, and now it protected billions of lives across Earth and the colonies. Lieutenant Minna observed a lone scout attempting to test human defenses. She smiled slightly and transmitted the coordinates. Within moments, the scout received a clear warning from human warships, and it retreated without incident. Humans had established a balance of power based on respect and vigilance. Intrusion would no longer be tolerated. Captain Daesung reflected on the actions of the past months. Humans had been underestimated, challenged, and feared. They had faced arrogant species that assumed superiority, only to discover that human strategy, courage, and technology were unmatched. The cost of arrogance had been clearly demonstrated, and the galaxy had adjusted its perception accordingly. Lieutenant Jiun summarized the situation. Captain, alien fleets are avoiding our sectors. The Council is acting cautiously. Our space is secure, and our presence is respected. Daesung nodded. Excellent. Let them remember this. Humans defend their space with strength, intelligence, and unity. Any who underestimate us will learn the cost of arrogance, and the galaxy will know the value of caution. Commander Heijin continued to train pilots, reinforcing the discipline and tactics that had secured victory. Every young human was taught to value intelligence, teamwork, and vigilance. These qualities ensured that humans would remain a force capable of defending their space for generations to come. In distant star systems, alien species revised their strategies. They approached human space with caution, recognizing that aggression could lead to total destruction. The message was clear: human space was not to be entered lightly. Arrogance had a price, and humans had shown how high that price could be. Captain Daesung and his crew continued their patrols, moving silently through the void. The stars reflected the calm vigilance of the fleet. Humans did not seek war, but they would defend their space with unmatched precision and courage. Every ship, every crew member, every decision reinforced the authority of humanity across the galaxy. Lieutenant Minna observed distant signals, ensuring no fleets approached without detection. Captain, all sectors are clear. The message has been received. Daesung looked out at the stars, reflecting on humanity's achievements. Humans have set the standard. Our space is protected, our fleets are ready, and the galaxy understands the cost of arrogance. Let them remember it. The fleet moved onward, vigilant and unyielding. The galaxy had learned that human space was defended, and that any who approached without respect would face the consequences. Humans had not only secured their territory, but had also established a reputation that would endure across the stars. Their actions had reshaped the perception of power, intelligence, and courage, proving that humanity would never be underestimated.